What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fam, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it. So you see the title of the show, you know what this is specifically about. It's more so just, hey, what's going on, Bebop? It's more so us talking about the QB carousel in the NFL, man. So it's crazy that, year in and year out, it's always a turnover. And one of the biggest turnovers is at the quarterback position, along with the fact that it's a situation where you must make sure that you have an elite QB because without one, you won't win a championship. So we all know that. We've all seen that. And this year's we've got a crop of, quarterbacks that are out there that we definitely didn't expect to be out there. And a few guys have already moved on. A few guys have already signed. So, Daniel Jones just got himself a nice little deal to stay with the Giants. Derek Carr is now a New Orleans Saint, which I kind of thought all along, strictly based on the fact that Carr was being courted by them while he was with the Raiders, asked for his release just so he didn't handicap the team by having them give up a bunch of picks to go get him, which makes sense, and at the same time, he knew he had the leverage because the Raiders didn't want to give him $40 million. So with that being said, smart move by Mr. Carr. You know what I'm saying? Yes, 100% RIP to Mac Jones and Zach Wilson. There are a lot of quarterback needy teams in the league. That's basically the case. And you've got to be smart about it. You've got to find that QB that does everything that you need him to do, everything that you would like him to do, along with making sure that everything you need is, it's there for you. And, this guy's going to go out on the field. He's going to produce. He's going to get you some wins. He's going to get you to a Super Bowl, and he's going to get you over the hump. And that's been our unfortunate Achilles heel over this time span of since 1994. You know what I mean? It's been so long since we've won a damn championship. It's now going on 30 years since we've won an actual championship, and that's horrible. Now, we've been to the Super Bowl at least 2 times, from 2010 to 2020, and we didn't win. We just couldn't do it. First Super Bowl, we was with Cap, and we were against the Ravens, getting our ass handed to us. Magically, the lights go out. Then we come back and make it a closer game, so it doesn't look so bad. Next thing, we wind up going against the Chiefs. Kyle Shanahan gets comfortable against Patrick Mahomes of all people. We lose that one. And, in the last couple of years, we've been to 3 out of the 4 NFC championship games. But the main issue is that's all we're doing. We get there, then we stop. We become stagnant. So Kyle didn't get over the hump when he was with Atlanta, and he still isn't able to get over the hump while he's here with us. So we're hoping that he does get over the hump, and we're praying that these things do get better. And it does suck, man. It sucks really bad because we would love to be able to get another Super Bowl ring. And I know a couple of different people are saying, like, hey, what would you rather have? Would you rather kind of pull a Rams and sell it all just to get that one Super Bowl? Or would you rather have, regular consistency? I'll take the Super Bowl. Thank you very much. I don't care about the consistency. Consistency means nothing because you being consistently competitive don't mean nothing if you ain't bringing home a ring. And that's the whole point of it. So people have to understand that that's the job of every NFL franchise from top to bottom is to win a championship. And it's not just one year, it's every year. Like, you don't have owners that look at you and go, hey, you want a ring this year. Next year, take a load off. You don't have to try to repeat. No, they're looking at you going, that is fantastic. Let's enjoy, the moment. And then when the moment's gone, they're going to come back and look at you and go, how do we do this again? Because that's what we need to do. And exactly, Bebop is right. History won't remember that. They'll remember that one that you won, and the next year when you don't, that's it. Like when the Rams won their championship and had their moment to gloat and talk all their crap, nobody could tell them nothing. But at the end of the day, this past year was the worst year of any Super Bowl winner ever. It's the worst team record. There's a lot that went on. And now look at the Rams. Though they got the ring the following year, they looked like trash. They didn't even sniff the playoffs. And now what are they doing? Selling off every player they can get, trading off every player they can get. Why? Because the cap has got them in a headlock. And they're over the cap, and they've got to move guys. Bobby Wagner's gone. They're trying to trade Jalen Ramsey. So when you think about it, man, it's a hard sell. And then you got to think about it. They still got Matt Stafford, and Matt Stafford's done. That one Super Bowl you got out of him is all you about to get out of him. You got him at the end of his career, and I have no idea why you wouldn't pay him another absorbent amount of money. I'd be giving Matt Stafford 1-year deals on a consistent basis. I would have no reason to try to pay him, a large contract or even give him a certain amount of years because I know he's not going to last. He was in Detroit for the majority of his career, and that's the guarantee that's where he'll retire. But the issue is that while he was in Detroit, he was getting beat up. Stafford had a couple of years where he was injured, but I mean, it's Detroit. What do you expect? And there's nothing against the city of Detroit, just the Lions suck. It is what it is. We all know this to be true. So, when you look at this QB carousel, we've got a lot of different guys and a lot of different teams that need a quarterback. Right now, the Bucs don't have a quarterback. If you look at it, the Colts still don't have a quarterback. The Commanders don't have a quarterback. The Dolphins still have Tua, but the issue is Tua can never stay healthy. And that's the biggest problem with him. He can never stay healthy. Good morning, Mom. He can never stay healthy at all. Like it's a frustrating thing for the Dolphins, a frustrating thing for Dolphin fans, just the franchise in general. He can't stay healthy. And though you would love him to, you would really appreciate it. It's just not something that's going to happen. As much as, we all like Tua, him and staying healthy is just oil and water. They don't mix. And it's very unfortunate because the kid's got talent. The Falcons need a quarterback. The Giants, we don't have to worry about. Why? Because they now have Daniel Jones. They linked him up. I believe he's going to make about almost 40 a year, roughly around that. Let's see, the Jets right now, they still have Zach Wilson, but obviously don't believe in Zach Wilson. And now they have courted Aaron Rodgers. For what reason, I don't know. If I'm a GM, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through the ups and downs. I don't want to go through the I might sign, I might not sign. I'm in a dark place. I'm in a light space. I'm in space. I'm on Jupiter. I'm on Mars. I'm in another galaxy. I don't have time to deal with Aaron Rodgers and all his BS that comes with him. So while y'all are courting Aaron Rodgers, y'all might as well stick with Zach Wilson for that moment. At least Zach Wilson will show up to work, and try to do something. It ain't going to be much of nothing, but he'll try to do something, outside of sleeping with somebody's mama. It is what it is. So then you have to look at the other teams in the league. Of course, the Lions still have Jared Goff, but you never know what can happen there. I mean, congrats to them on the way they finished out their season. They look pretty good. The Panthers, they just went ahead and traded with the Bears and gave up a haul to get that number 1 pick. So it is said that David Tepper likes Bryce Callahan, and it's said that the new head coach likes not Callahan. It's Bryce, the dude from Alabama. I can't remember his name. And it said that the head coach likes someone else. So it's just a situation of them finding the right guy. And they traded, I think, about 4 picks, and they traded DJ Moore. So you just made the Bears a lot better. The Bears get 2 picks this year, and I believe 2 picks next year. And the picks, they still are at number 9, so they're still in the top 10. and then they have another pick right at the end of the second round. So for me, to be honest with you, that's a great trade for the Bears. They get a nice little haul, and now they have Darnell Mooney, and now they have DJ Moore. So they've got two receivers, and though Dante Pettis is worthless, it should throw his crazy ass in the slot. Let's see how he works against middle linebackers, laying that ass out. So you got to think about it. It's a situation where the Bears won on that one. The Bears won. They got what they needed, and it was smart for them to trade out. This as well is a sign for the Bears to say that we have faith in Justin Fields. And it's showing him, hey, contrary to popular belief or what the world says, we're good. We like you. We're going to stick with you. Do not worry. Nothing is going to happen. So that's a good thing for him, and that gives him a moment, to relax. A little cause of, he had a little cause to pause earlier because it was, a little harsh situation. The Patriots, though Mac Jones is there, Bailey Zappi has come in on several occasions and looked great. So they're still probably searching for a guy. And it's going to be a little frustrating. Tom Brady did retire, so that's definitely a good thing. And then when it comes down to the other teams, you got the Raiders. They don't have anybody because they let Derek Carr walk. And, though Jarrett Stidham is there, I doubt that they're going to do anything with him. The Ravens currently, technically speaking, have Lamar on the non-exclusive franchise tag. And so basically what this means in short, I'll give it to you in layman's terms, is you can go and talk to anybody you want to, and they can offer you something. But we do have the opportunity to match that offer. And if they do not offer you something, then what happens now? You're basically stuck in the same situation. You're going to have to come back to us. So I think and I know basically what happened with Lamar was once that happened, a lot of teams came out and said, we're not doing it. And Adam Schefter said it could be because they don't want to do the paperwork and the construction of a contract only to have someone else basically be like, all right, we'll take it. And I can understand that. I understand that Lamar is a generational talent. There has been a lot of people talking about, should we go get him? First of all, we don't have 2 first-round picks to give up, because if you go ahead and sign Lamar, you can have him, but you have to give up 2 first-round picks. We don't have one this year. We only have one next year. And that's because we gave it up for Trey Lance. So I don't know how that's going to work, because I know they didn't say, 2 first-round future picks. They said 2 first-round picks. So that would safely assuming that would mean this year and next year, along with the fact that Lamar doesn't fit our system. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of people are of the ilk that they love Kyle and whatnot. No one on the team is above reproach in my eyes. So personally, I don't need him running another QB into the ground. And Lamar runs more than enough. Now, yes, will we be the number 1 rushing attack? Obviously so. But you have to change the system to be able to accommodate him and anything that you feel he may not be very efficient at. So we all know that Lamar is a good thrower, not a great thrower. He does have a cannon for an arm, so Danny Gray would become of use. But then at the same time, why am I going to go and give up 2 first-round picks if I can, work around not having one this year, and they can just take 2024 and 2025 and bring in a guy that I truthfully, don't think fits our system, along with the fact that this man wants guaranteed money. And I am sorry, the 49ers are a very frugal organization. So anybody hoping that Lamar is coming here, you can just dispel that thought from your brain, because it's not going to happen. You really think Parag Marante about to give $200 million in guaranteed money to anybody? You out your mind. Parag have a hard time probably opening his wallet to pay for his groceries. And it's nothing against him personally, because I don't know him personally. I'm just speaking from what I've seen with these contract negotiations. It takes a couple of times of going back and forth for them to figure things out. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that happens with every team, but it seems to happen more often than not with us. Why? Because Parag Marante will look and be like, nope, I ain't giving up shit. Basically, Jed hands him his checkbook, and he looks at Jed's checkbook. Now, don't get me wrong, the money deep. The money is super deep. He got lots of money. But at the same time, Jed must have told him, be as cheap as you possibly can. If they say they're going to sell it to you for $2, bring their ass down to a quarter. Like, that's literally how it works. So, to be honest with you, it is a very unfortunate situation that's happening with Lamar. I know a lot of people say that it's not a collusion thing when teams go and say that they're out on Lamar or anything like that. Here's the situation. Honestly, that's the way it goes. Sometimes those owners do need to collude in order to teach players a lesson and or try to come together so players don't keep getting more money. You have to think about it. When the Cleveland Browns gave Deshaun Watson all that guaranteed money, if you notice for the quarterbacks, the guaranteed money started to skyrocket. It went upward. Why? Because they have to. They don't have a choice. They need to do that. Because if they don't, excuse me, it's only going to wind up handicapping them. And they're going to wind up in a situation where what happened? Everybody keeps getting too much money. And now, the salary cap is set to continue to go up, 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 and more up. And hopefully, sorry, I know I got that that thing in the background, man. These people out here sometimes the alarms go off because we got dipshits that drive through here like it's a fucking drag strip. And, it'll set off somebody's alarm. Hopefully it shuts up. Give me a sec. There we go. Now it's finally shut off. Yeah. So, that's a good thing. If they're looking at Bebop makes a good point. If they're looking at Anthony Richardson, I mean, it's not a negative thing. Yeah, it was Anthony Richardson and Bryce, the guy from Alabama, Bryce. So I understand, looking at those dudes at the top and saying, damn, I want to be able to go get this and figure out what's going on. It's smart because you want to have that guy in place. And to be honest with you knew the Panthers never believed in Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold. I'm sorry. I've said this before. I'll say it again. And people know I don't like USC. But one thing I can say is they do breed very good defensive and offensive players in all of the positions except one, quarterback. I do not believe there's a USC quarterback that has won a NFL championship, period. I mean, as far as I don't care about a quarterback's 40 time. Honestly, I don't. I just care about his mobility and if he's able to shift around and move around. If he can do that, then I'm all right with it. A quarterback's 40 time means nothing to me unless I'm expecting that guy to, get out and boogie every now and then because the pocket has collapsed. Me personally, don't go ahead and, running should be your last option, not your first. And I honestly feel like Trey Lance should get the same playbook that Jimmy and Brock Purdy got and be allowed to run that and not have any issues. But Trey Lance didn't get that playbook. And the reason why is because Kyle didn't do it. And I don't understand why Kyle thinks that he wants to run him into the ground versus throwing the ball. And no one can tell me different or change my opinion because when Trey Lance was in there, we were heavy on the run and light on the pass. It's just that simple. But the minute Jimmy Garoppolo stepped on the field, we start throwing the ball like nobody's business. The minute Brock Purdy got on the field after Jimmy got hurt, we kept throwing the ball like nobody's business. And then it was more balanced. If anything, it was a little more pass heavy than run heavy. Just slight changes, but nothing drastic. But the thing is if you're going to do that, give the kid the opportunity to throw the ball. If your simplest thing you should be telling Trey Lance is once in a while there will be design plays where you run. But at this point in your career, throw the ball. Running is your last option. If you see nothing open and you can get that first down, go get it. But get out of bounds, slide. Quarterbacks are so protected, it's insane. You can look at the quarterback wrong and they'll give you a 15-yard penalty for it. So be smart about it. Just go ahead and do what you have to do. That's all that people are asking is that, because you want to make sure that you give everything that you got. And you want to make sure that your quarterback is able to do the same. Don't hinder or handicap your quarterback by, locking them down to this one specific thing, and then they're not able to do anything else. It's just not cool. So personally, you know what I mean? I think that it would be a better situation for Trey Lance if he allowed him to just throw first and run second. And yeah, once in a while, a run or two is cool against a team that's pretty weak against the run, or a team who struggles with mobile QBs, because most teams do. And then you'd be all right. But it doesn't make sense that you're going to wind up in a situation where you're consistently going in and you have a quarterback who can run and throw, and you're running him into the ground, and then he gets hurt, and then you're like, oh man, I'm back at square one. And I know that everybody loves Brock Purdy. We all love what he did. I appreciate what he did. Congrats to him on the successful surgery. They did the UCL repair surgery, so they say the timeline is about 6 months, 3 months for throwing. That's fantastic. Here's the issue. For all you Brock Purdy lovers out there, he's not going to be your starting quarterback week one because he won't be healthy and available week one. The only position that the 49ers do not rush back is quarterback. So will there be a backup, somebody else that's going to be here that's most likely probably going to be active week one? Yes. Because I guarantee you they're probably going to give Brock at least until about week 4 in the season before they feel comfortable even trying to put him on the field. Now, if by then Trey Lance has been balling and we've been moving, then we're good. Here's the issue. We always start slow. Kyle Shanahan always starts slow. It never fails. I don't know why. It is what it is. So hopefully we don't have that issue this year. And Trey Lance comes out and he's balling and he makes the throws and he puts it out there basically like, hey, this is a competition. And, that's what it's going to be. Now, anybody looking for Kyle Shanahan to tell you who his starting quarterback is going to be, don't ask. He does not tell you. He gives you nothing in return. He always leaves he's vague as all get out. So don't think that Kyle Shanahan is going to be that guy to tell you what's really going on, because he doesn't even care to tell anybody. I think him and John are the only two people in the league that, continue to play coy as if somebody doesn't know what they're doing. It's obvious. Trey Lance is going to be your starter in 2023. And when Brock Purdy comes back, as long as Trey Lance hasn't screwed things up, he may still have to sit on the bench. He gave us a wonderful run. We had a great time watching him, but that unfortunate injury basically set him back. Because I can tell you right now, if Brock Purdy doesn't get injured, there's a quarterback competition at camp. And then we got to sit through the months and months of people asking Kyle who his starting quarterback is, and him continually omitting and never saying shit and driving people up the wall. And it's unfortunate. So, to be honest, when it comes down to it, I would love Trey Lance to start. I would love for him to stay healthy. I would love for him to be able to get his opportunity and do what he needs to do. But I can tell you this. If Brock Purdy comes back and he's healthy and they decide to bench Trey Lance, if I'm Trey Lance, I'm one out, man. I'm done. I'm tired. I sat here while you guys dick rode Jimmy the first year. I sat here next year while you wound up getting me injured because you ran me into the ground. And now I'm here this year. The team notoriously starts slow. That's always how it's been since you've been here. But now, because of that slow start, I get benched for the kid. But you went and gave up all those draft picks to go get me. It doesn't make sense. From a logical standpoint, it just doesn't make sense. And then at the same time, I don't want to sit here as a damn backup. I want to play. I want to win. And I want to get a team a championship. And I want to be able to say that I was a part of it and that I helped. Hell, I would even want to be able to take, the opportunity to say, hey, I am literally that guy. I'm that dude. Most people would love that. But, it sucks when the team has you, kind of wound up tight into a situation. And they don't have to honor his trade request. They could keep him and even put him on his 5th-year option and then franchise tag him twice. Like the way that things work in the league for first-round picks is good and bad. So the earlier you're picked in the first round, the more money you'll get. The later you're picked in the first round, the less money you'll get. But first round comes with a literal 7-year commitment because you're going to sign a 4-year contract. They have a 5th-year option on you, and they can tag you for 2 extra years. So they could take literally 7 years out of your life, and you can get nothing in return but whatever they decide to give you. Now, the franchise tag is nice because it's an average on the base salary at the top of that position. So if you're franchise tagged as a quarterback, you get somewhere between 30 to 40 million, and they start looking at the numbers and, safety, whatever position you play. Another thing I wanted to touch on. So it looks like Jimmy Ward has come out and said, well, I never said I didn't want to play nickel. Really? Really, Jimmy? There's too much evidence and receipts saying that you do not want to play nickel, bro. And yes, you're a free agent. Yes, you're going to test the market, and the market will, kind of dictate to you what they think. Can we re-sign Tayshaun Gibson? If we can, then Jimmy Ward unfortunately becomes expendable. Why? Because Tayshaun Gibson and Huff back there was a beautiful combination. Jesse Bates is out there. We would love to get that dude. We only have about, I believe, somewhere between 6 to 8 million in cap space at this present time. So will there be restructures coming down the pike? Hell yeah. Because we got to move money around to create cap space. So restructures only mean you're kicking the can a little further down the road, and you want to keep those players because you don't want to be paying them to do nothing. I.e., we had to pay Rustin Richburg for a bit. We're still paying bum-ass D Ford. There's certain things that do and don't happen. And, there's dead money every single year. But it is what it is. So we got to look at these situations and figure out what we need to do. Nick Bosa was on his Richard Sherman's podcast, kind of slipped and said E-Man will be back. So safely assuming they're working on something behind the scenes to bring him back. He's had more than enough time to recover from that ACL tear. So we should be good to go, at least by training camp at a bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? Even if you can't do OTAs, OTAs is like a walkthrough on crack. And it's really not that much. They don't do anything crazy. It's more 7-on-7s, not even 11-on-11s. But we have 2 big needs. We have 2 big holes at the premium spot, and that's center and right guard. Right tackle, I apologize. So we've got to get a right tackle. A lot of people are saying Colton McKivitz could probably be the guy. He has pretty much played all along the line except for center in college, and I think we had him as a guard. Initially. So to be honest with you want a right tackle, just re-sign Dan Brunskill and put him out there. Stop rotating him and Spencer Burford and just put him right next to Burford. And then your right tackle problem is solved, at least in my eyes. I think that Daniel Brunskill can be a serviceable right tackle until you get somebody that you feel is going to continually fulfill that spot. Now at center, could it be Nick Zakelj? Could it be them drafting a center? But I can tell you this, I don't want Dan Brunskill at center. I definitely don't want to see that bullshit again because that was horrid. But we probably, if E-Man is back and he's healthy, then we're good at corner. But we've got to get a strong safety. We need that. Or should I say free safety? I apologize because strong safety is a Huff. But we need a free safety. You know what I'm saying? We could use another linebacker. And I know a lot of people have been saying Bobby Wagner. I mean, he's still getting broke off from the Rams, so we wouldn't have to pay him too much. But it's just getting the money moved around for us to be able to do all these things. So you got to think about it. Right now where we are, a lot of things have already happened. So combines already came and went. So right now, currently where we are, it is March 11th. So the next thing that's going to come up is your draft eligible visits begin from the 7th to the 19th of this month. Clubs were permitted 30 non-local players for physical exams visit, but you can't take them on the field for workouts. Also, between March 7th and April 26th, video or telephone interviews with draft eligible players begin. 3 video or telephone interviews per player, no longer than 1 hour in length. This already, and then basically in the next 2 days. So basically, free agency will start here on Monday. That's basically what's going to happen. So negotiation period during the period of 12 noon New York time on March 13th, ending at 3:59, basically at 4 o'clock on March 15th. Clubs are permitted to contact and enter into contract negotiations with the certified agents of players who will become unrestricted free agents upon their expiration of their 2022 player contracts, 4 p.m. New York time. So basically on the 15th, it's, March 15th is the date that we're all truthfully looking for, which is going to be Wednesday. So next Wednesday is the date that we're all looking forward to, because it's the end and the start of the league year. So it's the end of the prior league year, start of the new league year. So the start of 2023, 2024 has begun as of Wednesday at 4 p.m. And that's that's your free agency. So, you got trading period. Trading begins, 4 p.m. EST. And then, March 23rd is the deadline for clubs to submit their individual list of physical certified candidates for the 2023 extended injury protection benefit. I'm not sure what that is. The meetings are going to go on from the 26th to the 29th. Oh, it's going to be here in Arizona at the Biltmore. You know what? I might have to I might have to show up and try to holler at John and Kyle. I know they probably wouldn't like me if they looked at me when they looked at my content, because I done read both of them. But I've always just been, what's going on, Rick? I've always just been that person who doesn't believe that anyone is above reproach. Hell, if I do something stupid at my job, or I do something stupid in life, and one of my boys don't check me, and I keep doing stupid shit, honestly, I'm gonna look at myself and say, man, I shouldn't have made those mistakes. But then at the same time, if my boys are around me in those situations, and there are people that I feel, that I've, grown to understand, and I appreciate their opinions on things, and they don't tell me, hey, you out here looking wild, bro, then you know what? Then yeah, I'm tripping. So those are just some of the things that, can happen. And you got to have those dudes, you got to have those people around you in general to be able to make sure that these things are good. So then after that, you got all the other stuff that goes down. Basically it'll be the draft. And after the draft is done, then we'll head into the off season. Probably have OTAs, I believe, like May or June. And then once the OTAs are done, they'll move forward. But that's basically what it is. So this quarterback carousel has been continuing. You've seen Daniel Jones get some bread. You've seen Derek Carr get some bread. They're still waiting for Aaron Rodgers to figure out what he wants to do. Tom Brady has officially retired. I've seen him in more commercials than I've seen him ever in his whole career. Right now, his main one is Hertz, I think, for electric vehicles mainly. So go get your money, Tom. Go get your money. You know what I'm saying? He was married to Giselle for all those years, so she definitely had to teach him the advertising game and how to be able to go get that money, because he's probably the most grossly underpaid 7 Super Bowl ring quarterback ever in the league. There ain't no way in hell I got 7 rings and I'd get paid what he got paid. But he made the sacrifices to make sure that he had a full team around him, so he didn't handicap himself and he had to do everything by himself. I respect that. So when it comes to the rest of the quarterback carousel, there's still a bunch of guys out there that are ready and able, man, and ready and willing to, go out there and try to prove to a team that they are definitely, that person. So you've got your Carson Wentz, you got Marcus Mariota, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Jimmy Garoppolo, Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum, Mason Rudolph, Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, Andy Dalton, Mike White, Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, the worthless Blaine Gabbert, Chase Daniel, Nick Mullins, Drew Lock, Brandon Allen, Josh Johnson, Nate Sudfeld. So we right now have a need for a quarterback. And hell, me, I'm cool with bringing back Nate Sudfeld, probably even Teddy B, just to bring somebody in there to have hanging out with Brock. And then hanging out with Brock and Lance, and I can tell you right now, they'll probably they may draft a guy that they feel is doing well enough to be able to supplement for the cost of a backup quarterback, because the backup quarterbacks are making a little more money now, and especially if you've got to have a guy go out there and really play because somebody gets injured, then yeah, it's a problem. The numbers and figures start looking a little odd. So still a lot of guys to be able to talk with, but basically Wednesday at 1 p.m. our time, and I believe 4 p.m. Eastern. That's when free agency starts. So we got to get out there, start hustling, start talking to people, start figuring out what we can do, and hopefully by then we've figured out something on some of these contracts. But 49ers never make big splashes in free agency. It's very rare that they do. Like I've said before, D Ford and Quan Alexander was the biggest splash that we had. We did go ahead and get Bosa, but he was drafted. And then, over the next couple of years, everything is kind of lackluster. It's small. We didn't know that Mooney was even a god until he came. And, you start doing your research. You go, okay, this dude's all right. I ain't mad at him. So we love Mooney. We appreciate that he's here. We're glad that he's here. But, he wasn't like the big splash guy. It was like J.C. Jackson. That was the big name out there. So it's like we don't go after those top dollar players because they don't want to pay anybody. Deron Payne is on the non-exclusive franchise tag too, and we need a defensive tackle next to Eric Armstead that can help us out because Javon Kinlaw ain't cutting it. I'm sorry. He just can't stay on the field. And once again, it's never nothing personal with the dude. It's just the fact that this guy cannot stay on the field. It's nice to be that big and have all that power, but if you can't stay on the field and stay healthy, what good is it? It's nice to see videos of Elijah Mitchell working out and doing all these things, but if his knees are Mr. Glass on a consistent basis, what's the point? You don't help yourself if you can't stay on the field. So kind of is what it is. So we've got things that we've got to address and things that we need to figure out. But we did re-sign Juwan Jennings, which I'm very happy about. Got that man back. He was an exclusive rights free agent because he hadn't accrued enough time in the NFL to be able to be an unrestricted free agent. So glad he's still back here. So that means we still got everybody. Did hear this little situation on Brandon Ayuk liking a post of someone putting him in a Denver Broncos uniform. And I mean, it doesn't matter, man. I at this point, social media is what it is. It's social media. And I'm not going to sit here and complain or cry about somebody liking this or liking that or doing this or doing, man, look, y'all need to just learn how to stop crying all the damn time. It's always something to bitch about, always something to complain about. And you just need to let it go. So, we've got a ton of options at QB that we can choose from as far as a free agent, as a vet to bring in to be able to kind of help along with the development of Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. And I hope that they do bring in a good vet, somebody that knows the system, somebody that can continue to walk them through because we love what Brian Greasy has done with, all of our guys. But at the same situation, in the same, token, you don't want to you want to make it clear to that guy that that's what he is. You're a backup, bro. You are only here for emergencies. I know the NFL is reviewing the rule as far as having, a third quarterback as far as an emergency guy, just in case, of what happened to us. It's definitely crazy. What's going on, Load the Truth? You know what? Yannick Ngakoue, that dude, he's a monster off the edge. And to be honest with you, I don't know what the issue is with Drake Jackson and why they don't want him to play. I know Kyle stated that he said that Drake's body or his conditioning wasn't enough for him to be an every down, defensive end, which to me is kind of weird because you just basically deactivated him because of that. And then you put a rotation of guys in. Samson Ebicom didn't do anything that Drake Jackson couldn't have done. And anybody else that you put on that edge, it's nice. But the kid had the most batted passes in the league. He had that key interception for us, and he screams off the edge. So for me right now, if I'm going to go out and get someone, it would be Yannick Ngakoue. I do love Charles Omenihu. Hope we bring him back. So there's a lot of things for us to get to during the offseason. A lot. We've got to address a few guys that possibly could walk, see if we can get them back. We've got to move some money around in these contracts to be able to create cap space. And if anything, I mean, the smart thing to do this offseason would be to get Nick Bosa signed to create cap space, because typically the first year of your new contract is shit. Like you're getting paid, but you're not, your cap hit isn't as much. And then for the second year, for the next thing, just move that money around, figure out who to restructure, talk to the guys. Hey man, look, we just need to kick the can down the road a little bit. We're trying to make sure the team stays strong, because if not, you're probably going to be trotting out. As far as the linebacker position, it's going to be Fred Dre and probably Marcelino McCurry-Ball, or possibly even Oren Burks. I like Burks, but I like Burks as a special teams guy, which is what we brought him here for. I do not see that man being a full-time starter. It's just not, no. And I love how the team hypes people up and they make you, and the casual fan will be like, if the team loves them, we should love them. People, you got to still look with your own eyes and make your own decisions. To be honest with you, when it comes to a defensive standpoint, we need not look too far but the XFL. They have a very short season that's small, and they can go ahead. And these are players, their aspirations literally are to play in the XFL and then go back to the NFL. That is literally what the XFL is around for. It's to get players back into the NFL. I have no quarrels or qualms with that. Not at all. I'm okay with it. And the XFL has been getting crazy viewers. Like, it's insane. And I mean, hey, I love it. And plus, you got to remember, you have former NFL talent working on these teams, coaching these teams. Rod Woodson's got a squad. Wade Phillips, the Houston Roughnecks, bruh. You ain't seen them play. They out there balling. Yes, some of the structure may be a little bit different, but at the end of the day, it's still football. And they know, and a lot of these guys are former NFL players. AJ McCarron's on the team. Paxton Lynch just proved he's garbage in every league you can think of. So it's a situation where some of these guys already know the NFL game. They know what it is. They know how it works and all that stuff. AJ McCarron was comfortable, not playing, but his kid was like, yo, daddy, I want you to play football. And he got a call and it worked out. So we'll see what happens. But that's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thank everybody for stopping by. We'll take a look at these free agents once everybody truthfully becomes a full-on free agent and see what we can do. And let's hope in the coming days there are some negotiations between our front office and a few different players on the team to restructure some deals and open up some more cap space so we can be active in free agency, because we never are. It hurts me, because I would love to be able to go out at least once a year, and try to snag at least one person, you know what I'm saying, and like have that cap space. And yes, we are paying most of our players top dollar. Understand it, respect it, because they've earned it. The issue is you still got to figure out how to be able to live and do things. So I respect everybody. I respect the fact that they out there getting their money, because the NFL stands for not for long. And if you don't get as much money out of it while you're in there, it's definitely going to be a hard sell. But thank everybody for tuning in. Thanks to my moms, Rick, Load of Truth, Bebop, and anybody else that does watch this video. I appreciate you. Yeah, we definitely got to restructure some of that money. I appreciate you for stopping in and hanging out with your boy. I got a couple things I got to do today. Then I got to get right back to work. Then I got to work tomorrow. Luckily, Monday and Tuesday is quietness. I can actually relax. But you know how it is, man. You got to grind. When you grow with 5 kids, man, the money never stops and the grind never stops. Everybody stay up, stay faithful, be blessed, and have a wonderful weekend.